is a disaster in here. So bad. Oh, hey, what's up? Long time no see. Haven't seen you guys in a minute. Motor's in the car. Y'all want to know what I did? So let's just get right down to it. Let's get right into it. Okay, so as you guys know, I took I was posting like pretty much every week for 2 or 3 weeks, and then I just kind of fell off. This whole, I'm not gonna blame it on the virus. I'm not gonna blame it on COVID or anything like that. Like I said, my Instagram, if you follow me on Instagram, if you don't, do it somewhere there, somewhere in the corner. Anyway, follow me on Instagram. But I said on my Instagram that I had just been lazy, and that's pretty much it. I was just lazy. I didn't feel like filming everything. I didn't feel like editing everything. I was switching jobs. I just switched jobs actually, and this is, as most of you guys know, working on a car is it's your away time. It's your free time, your time to get away from the rest of the world and focus on your dreams, your goals, your aspirations. And that's what I was doing. But we are to a point now where I've had quite a few people actually ask me. I didn't think this many people cared this much. Kind of eye-opening. But I've had a few people ask me when the next YouTube video is coming out. When are you doing another video? Have you been recording anything? You know, all these different questions, whether it be through Instagram, through Facebook, whatever. And the answer was always no. Like, I was gonna push it to the side for a minute until this build got done. And the build's not done, for sure. But I'm just gonna go over kind of what happened, where we left off last time. I kind of left on a cliffhanger and then just kind of fell off. So I'm gonna show you guys exactly what happened. Like I said, if you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen this. So I'm gonna grab this valve. And so when we left off, I was pulling this valve out of the head, and this is the damage that I did. So I hope this is focusing, but I burnt a valve. That was literally all I did. I thought I broke a piston ring. So yeah, I thought I broke a piston ring, or cracked a piston, or floated a valve, or bent a valve or something, and that wasn't it. That wasn't the case at all. It was literally just this little thing over here. I bent a valve. So this GSR head right here has been completely rebuilt by Quinlan Automotive on the south side of Indianapolis. It was resurfaced. I don't remember how much they took off of it, but it was resurfaced. It was bead blasted, and they installed my SuperTech valves. I have SuperTech dished, not flat, but dished valves. I also have SuperTech dual valve springs in this head, titanium SuperTech retainers, SuperTech lost motion assembly, stock cams. Other than that, stock cam gears. So this was rebuilt by Quinlan's. The block, I went and picked up a B20B high compression block from JDM Midwest out in just outside of Cincinnati. That's a whole separate video as far as the issues I ran into with the block. I hope it's good. That's all I can say right now. That's all I'm going to say right now as far as that. It's got a brand new timing belt, brand new water pump, brand new tensioner. It's got a brand new clutch, stage 1 clutch in it. It's from some eBay company like Southern or Southeastern. I got the box over there. Hang on. So yeah, it's got a brand new stage 1 clutch from Southeast Clutch. It was really cheap. That's why I bought it. I bought it initially just to replace the clutch, and then the car blew up. I have a new oil pan gasket that still needs to be put on this thing. I have new cam seals that I need to put on this thing. I have new hybrid detent springs in the transmission. It's a B16 transmission for those of you that don't know. So I'm running B20V with GSR head, B16 trans from HMO. The motor obviously is not from HMO. The B16 is an HMO stamped B16 transmission. Obviously I'm running innovative mounts. You guys know all that stuff. But as far as like stuff that I've done to the car, that's pretty much it. So rebuilt the head, all Super Tech stuff in the head. And then, like I said, new clutch, new flywheel, timing belt, water pump, tensioner, you know, all the stuff, all the basic stuff that you do. And then I also put, like I said, the detent springs in the transmission from Hybrid Racing. And I've shifted the transmission. Obviously, I haven't started the car or anything, but I have ran through the gears. And boy, did those detent springs make a difference. But yeah, so that's all I've done to the motor. The biggest changes that I've made are on the engine bay and some of the suspension stuff. So I'm gonna go over that stuff. So again, you guys need to be following me on Instagram because you guys know pretty much everything that I've done. For those of you who don't, this is what I've done. I bought a Chase Bays power steering delete kit. And I will go over some of the benefits of running that kit versus running just like a loop hose and a little later on in this video. But I'm running a Chase Bays power steering delete kit. That's new. I have new front lower control arms from Hardrace. I also have new roll center adjusters or extended lower ball joints from Hardrace as well. Hardrace makes great suspension components. I cannot recommend them enough. I run almost all Hardrace suspension. Aside from my camber kits, which are blocks, and my coilovers, which are obviously blocks, I run nothing but Hardrace suspension. My sway bar end link bushings, I have also installed the sway bar now. It is just an OEM like Honda Civic EX sway bar. I think they're like 19 millimeters. I'm probably wrong. Fry me in the comments. I really don't care. But I'm running Hardrace sway bar end links. I'm running Hardrace rear toe kits. I run Hardrace rear lower control arms, Hardrace front lower control arms, which are new, like I said. And yeah, I'm gonna be running Hardrace inner tie rods and Hardrace super outer tie rods. And their super outer tie rods are actually a spherical outer tie rod end that mounts upside down on the knuckle. So instead of the tie rod mounting on top of the knuckle, it actually mounts on the bottom side of the knuckle, and it helps align the suspension geometry as well as the extended ball joints or the roll center adjusters. They do the same exact thing. They help with suspension geometry. So if you install any of those things or any combination of those things, you need to get an alignment. Like right now, my car is, I think, a ½ inch higher on this side than it is on that side. So the driver's side is a ½ inch higher than the passenger side. They were completely even when I started all this. Now they're not. So it just goes to show that changing something as, you know, like a lower ball joint, and they do say in the product description as a disclaimer that it does lower the car an inch. It lowers the car up to an inch. The benefits of running a Chase Bays power steering delete kit versus any other power steering delete kit on the market is you have a high pressure side and a low pressure side on power steering. And they actually go through all this on their website. Chase Bays does. If you go to Chase Bays and get on and look up their power steering delete kit, not the power steering kit. The power steering kit is something totally different. That is if you're going to keep power steering. If you're deleting your power steering, this is the kit that you want to get. They sell one for $92 to $95. They sell one for $96 to $2,000. I'm not sure if they sell one for an EF, but I'm sure they do. Anyway, so basically you have a high pressure side, a low pressure side. The low pressure side is roughly 10 to 15 psi, and that's going into the rack. So you have your rack and pinion going into the rack. If you were to run normal power steering, you have 10, maybe 20 psi of pressure going into the rack. And then as you're turning your wheel, it pushes fluid back out of the rack. Well, as fluid comes out of the rack, that is up to 120 or so psi of pressure. So running a loop kit, just a loop that goes from the high pressure side to the low pressure side and just makes the two fittings connect, can serve as a problem, because you have 120 psi of pressure coming out, going through the loop, and then running straight back into the rack that is only supposed to get 10 to 20 psi. So that's a lot of pressure, and this is why a lot of power steering racks blow out when they use like a loop kit. What Chase Base has done, through, from what I understand and what I've read on their website, through I want to say Time Attack cars, they have realized this problem, and they actually have a power steering reservoir that they have designed that has, I think, triple baffled. So the 120 psi coming out is actually baffled down to around 12 psi when it actually comes out of the baffles in the container. So that way it can flow back into the low pressure side of the power steering rack and not damage any of your seals, and you're not blowing out racks and going through racks and stuff like that. Super easy to install, and it's completely hidden. It is completely, that's the one complaint that I would have on it, is if I had to say add power steering or something like that, or anything along those lines, like, it's completely tucked under my intake manifold. And I'll pull the camera down and show you guys some of these components in a minute. It's completely tucked under the intake manifold. You can't see it, which is fine. Like, I'm cool with not being able to see it, but it kind of sucks that I can't really get to it without more than likely taking the manifold off, which I guess isn't the end of the world. So the engine bay is almost completely tucked at this point. The only thing I have left to tuck is the brake lines and the fuel lines. Other than that, there's no wiring up here at all. I have ordered it is a budget B series harness from Wireworks. It will be here, it will ship, excuse me. My wife texted me. Back to what I was saying. So, like I said, I did order a Wireworks budget B series harness, and I honestly don't even believe they offer it. I ordered it, and like a week later they took it off their website. But I've been in contact with them. They are made to order, and they said turnaround time is roughly 4 to 6 weeks. I ordered it about 4.5, 5 weeks ago, and they said that my harness will ship out the second week of June. So it's been about 5 weeks now, so it'll be about 6 or 7 weeks before my harness actually ships. Rocking the orange and black Vane engine stands hat. Hey, look at that, it rhymed. I'm retarded. God damn it, my phone keeps going off. Oh! Wife just texted me again. My glow shift wideband is outside. That's gonna be the next video, just so you guys know. Installing that. So, other than that though, oh my god, if my fucking phone doesn't stop going off. You're going on silent, bitch. I'm over it. There we go. Fuck that, interrupting my fucking videos. Alright, so interior. We're gonna go over modifications to the interior that I've done, now that we've pretty much covered everything on the exterior that I've done so far. On the interior, I pulled the dash, and I yanked all the vents out from underneath the dash. So I'll be running no AC, like nothing underneath the dash, no heat. So there's no heater core or anything in there anymore. I will be bypassing my heater core, I guess, on this engine. I then flocked my dash, so my dash is now suede. I flocked it black. It's like, if you don't know what flocking is, there's plenty of videos on YouTube. That dude in blue has a good video on his Integra. He flocked his dash on his Integra. There's a bunch of people who have flocked their dashes. Basically, it just makes the dash like suede, and it eliminates the glare from the sun hitting the dash and coming up in your eyes. So I've done that. Like I said, I've completely gutted the dash. There's no airbags or anything like that in there anymore. I removed my heater controls, or my climate controls. Removed those because, well, I'm not running heater AC, so I don't need none of that. And I ordered, got some 3D printed parts from a guy on Instagram. I will link his Instagram right here somewhere, and his Instagram link will be down in the description. His Instagram tag is Greg Parts. He makes 3D printed like delete plates for EF, EG, EK, and he may even do the newer Civics, the 7th and 8th gens and all that. So great parts though, great looking, awesome, super pleased with them. I'm running all glow shift gauges, so most of you guys already know that I had a oil pressure gauge from Glow Shift. I had a volt gauge from Glow Shift, it just wasn't installed. It is now installed, and I'm running a Glow Shift wideband as well with a Bosch 4.9 O2 sensor. Could be wrong though. Peep the next video to make sure that's accurate, but I think that's what it is. I have moved my battery and my fuse box to the inside of the car. So my under the hood fuse box, which is typically over there, you guys can probably see that there's nothing there. The fuse box and battery that typically sit there are now in the car. The battery is mounted behind the passenger seat, or where the passenger seat will be. The fuse box is mounted underneath the dash, all nice and neat. My ECU is mounted under the dash on a plate that I made personally. The battery tie down I made personally, with just some all thread and some like sheet metal that I bought from my local hardware store, actually Rural King to be exact. So I am running my my same 8th gen SI seat. That will change though. I plan on buying some kind of bucket seat because it sits just up too high and I don't feel like tearing the mounts apart. And I love the seat to death, but I'm not messing with it. I also got an NRG 4-point harness for the car, and then I also have like an eBay brand, although eBay doesn't actually make things, they just sell things. So basically I have a cheap knockoff universal harness bar that is in the car. I got all the sound deadening out of the front. The trunk, I still need to go get some dry ice because I need to get that out as well. But yeah, all the stuff about cutting the doors, still haven't done that, so we get to do that together. Rear sway bar, we get to do that together. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I've done. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna pull the camera down and I'm gonna show you guys some of the stuff in the engine bay. If I decide to jack the car up today, I'll show you guys the suspension components. If not, just go check them out on Instagram. I'm probably not gonna jack the car up today to show you guys that. You guys will see it in future videos though. Let's get into the engine bay and into the interior. You can see over here, this is where the fuse box used to sit, was right here. Battery used to sit right here. None of that's there. That's where the AC comes out of the firewall. I need to get some plugs for that stuff. Anyone want to send me some plugs, whether they be 3D printed or whatnot, hit your boy up. Hit me up in the DMs on Instagram. Seriously. You can see the Chase Base tag right there, that little yellow thing, that is a Chase Base tag. I'm gonna pull the intake manifold off. It's not actually bolted on, but all right, manifold's off. As you guys know, I run a Blocks Racing Type R replica intake manifold for the GSR, and I have a 70mm Blocks throttle body on there. So here is the Chase Base power steering delete kit with the reservoir. It actually is full of power steering right now. You do have to bleed these, and it's super simple. But yeah, clean the subframe up. You guys can kind of see the blue lower control arms down there. Those are the Hardrace front lower control arms. yeah, as far as the engine bay, that's pretty much it, man. I painted the engine, painted the transmission, painted this front torque mount, repainted this mount, repainted the T-bracket, just stuff to make the engine look better. Now moving on to the interior. As you can see, I got my seat in there. Obviously, like I said, my buckles are not perfect right now because I need some adjusting, but I do have an NRG. You guys can see that. Look, carbon fiber little thing. It's an NRG 4-point harness. My Avenue steering wheel with my NRG quick release. Let's climb in here real quick. This is the suede or flocked dash. I said it looks suede. Feels really cool. These are those delete plates I was telling you about from the audio. Probably sounds really weird because I'm sitting in the car. But this and this, so the clock delete plate right here, and this plate, the climate control delete plate, is made by a guy named Greg Parts. Like I said, his information will be in the description. This plate I obviously made, but he also makes this plate as well, and he makes them with 2 gauge pods for up here, 2 gauge pods down here. He makes them with S2000 start buttons. He makes these for switch panels. Like, go check his website out. Go check out his Instagram. He makes some awesome parts, and they're directly, they bolt right in. They bolt right up to like factory mounting points on the harness or on the dash. As you can see, there is the fuse box right there, all mounted up. There is the ECU all mounted up. Yeah, other than that, I mean, I put a circuit breaker in right there. So I don't know if it's popped right now or not. Let's see. Oh, it's not. So we'll pop this real quick, show you guys that it all works. We'll press that. And now when I turn the key, nothing should come on. We'll watch my gauges. No beep already. So nothing. But we'll turn this back off so you guys know. Come over here and I will click this back on. And you can hear it instantly starts beeping, and my gauges work. And this is reading 11 volts. This is maxed out because there's nothing hooked up to it. I'm gonna go over how I wired all these, how I powered them, how I grounded them and everything when I installed the wideband, which is going to go right here. So, well, there's the battery. And like I said, there's the tie down that I made. It is bolted to through the floor of the car. Like I said, all the sound deadening is taken out. Yeah, the car is coming right along. Harness bar back there. Really, this is, I mean, listen to this. First, super choppy. That's the word. Choppy, not chunky, but choppy. They're super choppy. That's the best descriptive word that I can come up with. But that's just an update, guys. I know you guys probably been curious of what happened to me, where I went. I didn't die or anything, so don't think that. Like I said, I just kind of needed to take some time, just in life in general, to focus on me, myself, and I, and be a little selfish. Alright, so that's going to be it for this one, guys. I really appreciate you being so supportive and being patient with me through my laziness. Let's be serious. But I'm going to get back on the YouTube grind as of now. Just keep your eyes peeled. Keep an eye on the Instagram. Videos will be dropping. I promise you that. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't ever miss a video that I drop. Hit the thumbs up. Go ahead and share it if you really liked it. That would be awesome. And until next time, I'm out.